Have you ever wondered if you could learn to do pull-ups, but you believe it's not possible, that you don't have the strength to learn? Well, I have news for you. You don't have to be strong enough to learn pull-ups. To the contrary, you will get strong by the process of learning to do them. So, are you actually ready to start training for pull-ups? Keep watching to find out, because I am going to provide you with a checklist of pull-up prerequisites. Everything that you need before you commit to training for your first pull-up. I'm also going to drop some truth bombs about what it actually takes to learn to do pull-ups. And you might be surprised about what I'm about to share with you. First, let me take you back to 1991. Terminator 2, Judgement Day, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, has just been released. One of the opening scenes of the film is seared into my memory forever, of the character Sarah Connor doing chin-ups in the psychiatric ward of a hospital while the camera pans around her ripped physique. She was the first woman I had ever seen doing chin-ups, and I thought she was so fierce. You have to remember that in those days, there was no social media, and seeing women performing a feat of strength like that was very uncommon indeed. Sarah Connor was my hero, but I never for a moment thought it was possible for an ordinary person to do that. She was a movie star, after all. My personal journey to learning pull-ups began 25 years later when I was in my late 30s. I was working with a personal trainer, and she suggested that I learn to do a pull-up. Let me tell you, I was pretty skinny back then, with thin arms and hardly any upper body mass. So anyway, I began training for pull-ups after about 12 months of doing twice weekly strength training sessions. It took another 6 months or so of consistent and specific training to get my first pull-up. Fast forward 7 years and into my mid-40s, and I now train in calisthenics. I can do a total of 50 or more pull-ups in a single training session. I can do sets of weighted pull-ups, and I'm learning a strict bar muscle-up, of which the explosive high pull is a fundamental requirement. So I do know a thing or two about this process. So why learn a pull-up in the first place? So first of all, it's a fundamental test of strength. Being able to rep pull-ups will put you in the advanced category of upper body strength for women over 40. Less than 1 in 100 women can execute a strict pull-up. I don't think this is an issue of ability as much as it is an issue of cultural and gender norms, which tend to assume that women aren't strong enough to pull their own body weight up. And women are not generally encouraged to learn these kinds of strength skills. This is definitely changing now that women are realizing the benefits of strength training, and on top of that, social media has allowed us to witness the many feats of strength that women are capable of. So the process of getting to your first pull-up is a journey, and there are a lot of benefits along the way. Your body is forced to get stronger than you ever believed possible, and you will build lean mass. You will need to train consistently and overcome many hurdles, so your mental strength and fortitude will be tested. But ultimately, you will reap the benefits of perseverance and patience. And nothing builds your upper body like pull-ups. Seriously, pull-ups are a game changer when it comes to getting shapely and sculpted looking back and arms. They are one of the top upper body muscle and strength building exercises. And having a skill-based goal to work on gives working out so much more meaning than simply having some sort of vague goal of, I want to look better, or I want to lose weight, or I want to get fit. And once you achieve it, you are extremely unlikely to want to stop there. Most people will continue with the goal of adding more consecutive pull-ups, or even adding weight. It will open many doors for further strength and skill-based goals. So what are some common training mistakes and misconceptions when it comes to pull-ups? First of all, that women can't do pull-ups. Well, we know this is clearly not true. However, it is correct that it's more difficult for women to learn than it is for men, because we don't have as much lean mass in our upper bodies, and we tend to carry more of our body weight in the lower half of our bodies. Second, pull-ups are an arm exercise. You pull yourself to the bar using your arms. No, this is not true either. When you do a pull-up, it's primarily your back creating the force. However, your whole body is involved. Your hands, arms, shoulders, back, abdominal, glutes, and quads. The third misconception is you can train for pull-ups by doing pull-ups or band-assisted pull-ups, which is also not really true. It's only once you have a solid strength base and body control when hanging from the bar that you can proceed to doing band-assisted pull-ups. And this is because the initiation at the bottom of the pull-up is the most difficult part, and that is the point where the band offers most assistance. So this becomes a sticking point for many people. Fourth, you can train for pull-ups by using machines in the gym. Not exactly. You can definitely increase upper body strength and build muscle using machines. But machines remove the body control aspect from the movement. So people can train for a long time on machines, but are still unable to do a pull-up using a bar. So incorporate machine training by all means, but don't rely on it. And fifth, anyone can do pull-ups if they train. Actually, this is not entirely correct either. It's not ideal to be trying to learn pull-ups if you're significantly overweight. It's definitely not impossible, but it's much, much harder for people who have excess body fat because it's kind of like trying to do a weighted pull-up. It's better to work on general strength and fat loss first and get closer to an ideal body weight before committing to pull-up training. Even if you do fall into this category, keep watching because there are exercises that you can practice in the meantime so that when you are ready to learn a full pull-up, you will have a strong head start. So first of all, what is a strict pull-up? A strict pull-up means no kipping, no swinging, no crossed legs, pulling from full arm extension, and all the way up so your chin is over the bar, and then lowering back to full extension. Your first pull-up will not look like this, but the more you practice, the easier and cleaner it will become. So what is the preparation that you need for learning pull-ups? Well, you need to be ready to do the following things if you want to do pull-ups. You need to be prepared to be patient. For a new trainee, it could be 3 to 12 months of consistent pull-up training to get your first unassisted pull-up. Many aren't prepared for how long it can take and think that maybe a 6-week program will do it. You can't set hard deadlines for this. If it takes months or even years, then so be it. You will be benefiting tremendously along the way. Second, be prepared to do pull-up specific training. A pull-up is a strength exercise, and training for strength is specific, not general. This movement is a skill, and you will need to learn a subset of skills in smaller steps. You need to be following a consistent and progressively overloading program aimed at achieving this. Third, you need to build a good strength base first. A brand new trainee will benefit from 6 months of general full body strength training before learning to pull up. Fourth, and this is one that not many people talk about, know that the skin on your hands will get rough. Calluses will start to form, and sometimes the skin may tear. This is all normal and expected. Please get some chalk, dry or liquid, and don't rely on gloves because it will interfere with your grip and you will become totally dependent on them if your skin is not conditioned. And if you have long fingernails, know that they will dig into the skin of your hands when you're hanging. So this is not ideal. Please keep your nails short for your own sake. And finally, eat enough calories and protein to build strength and new muscle. I know I harp on about this, but strength must be fueled properly. Make sure you're getting at least 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight or 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Calories will ideally be at maintenance or in a small surplus if you're not trying to lose fat. So what is the difference between the 3 grips that you can use when doing a pull-up? First of all, supinated or palms facing in, otherwise known as the chin up, relies a lot more on bicep strength. Second, the pronated or overhand relies a lot more on lat and back strength. And then in between that, we have neutral grip, which recruits both. Generally speaking, neutral grip is easier to learn for beginners. So what are the exercises that you need to be doing to prepare for doing pull-ups? First, get strong in horizontal rows with a TRX or suspension trainer or gymnastics rings. This is a very accessible exercise that almost everybody can do. You can start in a more vertical position, and over time, as you grow stronger, you can make the rows progressively more difficult by decreasing the angle between your body and the ground. You should be practicing rows frequently. Do them in sets of about 8 to 15. And if you can't do that many, just slowly build up the number of reps over time. Second, get comfortable with hanging. This allows you to build a strong grip and conditioned hands, both of which are really important, but many training programs don't address this. You need to be comfortable holding a bar hang for at least 1 minute. Your hands will hurt when you first start doing this. Your hands have a lot of muscles in them, and they need to be strengthened as much as any other muscle. And they will ache when you subject them to new stresses. There are 2 types of hangs: dead hangs, in which you just hang in a relaxed position from the bar, and active hangs, in which you engage your scapula and press them down so that your ears move up and away from your shoulders. Third, then you can learn scapular pull-ups, in which you are starting from a dead hang position and depressing your scapula so that you move into an active hang position and then back to a dead hang. You can do these in sets so that you can practice engaging your scapula, which is required to initiate the pulling movement at the bottom of a pull-up. Fourth, hanging hollow body holds can be incorporated once you're comfortable doing active hangs. A hanging hollow body hold is when you hang from the bar and create full body tension from your arms, shoulders, and scapula all the way down to your toes, crunching your body inwards slightly to create the hollow position. You should try to hold this position for as long as possible. Number 5, negative or eccentric pull-ups, which involve jumping up to the top position of the pull-up and then slowly lowering yourself down. These are key to building strength before you are strong enough to commit to pulling from the bottom position. They will feel very difficult at first, so you may only be able to do them 1 at a time. But as you get stronger, work your way up to doing them in sets of 5, lowering yourself with control for 3 to 5 seconds at a time. You will need to start by standing on a box that is high enough for you to jump to the top position of the bar. Your body will swing when you jump up. Just try to control the swing as you lower yourself. Number 6, banded pull-ups can be introduced once you have mastered all the previous exercises. Banded pull-ups help you learn the technique, but relying on them solely for your pull-up training usually doesn't work very well because the band offers the most assistance at the bottom of the pull, where most people are the weakest. As you get stronger, decrease the resistance from the band by swapping to a lighter band. You can practice band pull-ups in singles or in sets. And then finally, extra exercises in the gym that can help you strengthen your back, arms, and grip for pull-ups are deadlifts, dumbbell or barbell rows, lat pull-downs, horizontal cable rows, and heavy farmer carries. I recommend doing these at least 50% of your total body weight. I hope you have found this video useful and that you learned something from it. Comment below and tell me where you are up to with your pull-up journey. And please feel free to ask questions here because I will answer them. Please give me a like and subscribe to receive my future videos. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch my videos. See you next time.